news for June 1st, 2013. We're your hosts on this burrow ride in the canyon of technological entertainment. I'm Chris. This is Mike.
Hello.
This is Grover.
Dude.
And we start off with the overflow of Xbox One information as it continues. So part of the news was that almost 8.5 million people watched the Xbox One reveal on Xbox.com, which is 3 times the world record for any streaming sites in the past singular broadcasts, passing record-setting events like the 2010 World Cup, the 2011 Royal Wedding, and the 2012's election night. But 8 million people watching Microsoft fail may not be something exactly to brag about. But executive Aaron Greenberg promised via Twitter that Microsoft would get things right, quote, quote, at E3. Microsoft executives Phil Spencer and Don Matrick, which I was calling him Matic last week, sorry, it's Matrick, not Matic. Anyway, went on to say that recently the company is investing $1 billion into its games. Part of its proof that it's serious about the next-gen gaming and gamers alike, saying the gamers will be blown away by the titles and plans that will light up on the Xbox One at E3, and to try to prove that the unveiling was meant to be more about the system as a whole, and E3 will bring the game. But meanwhile, Microsoft is in the process to claim Xbox1.com and Xbox1.net from a UK resident who picked them up since December of 2011, and won't expire naturally until the late 2016. Obviously, Microsoft won't wait that long, but the only reason Microsoft didn't battle this sooner is because for them to do that, the name would actually get revealed before their unveiling, so they were trying to keep the system under wraps. Also, neither website domains currently have anything on them. They just go straight to the GoDaddy thing. So I imagine Microsoft will score them easily enough, and maybe the guy will get a few bucks out for all his troubles. Or forethinking, however that is. And it's also been revealed in a Microsoft patent in late 2011 for, and I kid you not, television achievements. Xbox One for your TV, indeed, as now is not unlikely to get achievements on future TV shows, commercials, and who knows what else. Congratulations, you watched 100 commercials. Yeah. As horrible as this
sounds terrible.
It's equally genius.
That sounds horrifying.
Think about it. This is going to make some people actually watch TV for their stupid achievements. It's brilliant in its evilness. No. So well played, Microsoft. Well played.
We know Nintendo is not having a conference at E3 this year, and they will focus on their show floor instead. Well, Wii U demos of the same new Nintendo releases that will be on that show floor are also going to be in 100 North American Best Buys. This is due to a partnership that the two have, and the titles that will be shown allegedly include the new Mario, a Mario Kart, and even the new Super Smash Bros. This is only going to happen on June 12th and June 15th, and it's only going to be for 4 hours each day.
Yeah, that's in other words, most of us are not going to probably get to see it, but yeah, that's a great idea, actually. It's like giving E3 to the people.
For 4 hours.
For 4 hours.
4 hours.
In 100 cities. And a report from Sony this week seemed to be a demand that all PS4 developers include support for the PS Vita's remote play feature. This means that all games that don't work specifically for the PlayStation Eye, it will have some sort of functionality with the standalone handheld that will allow PS4 to use them in a very similar manner to the Wii U's fancy touchscreen controller. This is a means of hope to not only combat that gimmick, but also as a booster for the handheld system, whose sales hasn't fared very well recently.
Well, we have some tragic news. The co-founder of the Oculus VR Rift, Andrew Reese, well, he's dead because scumbags, gang members, ran him over while running away from the police in Santa Ana, California. I mean, that's lame. They were so close to seeing their stuff happen, and now one of the co-owners is dead.
As I understand it, the system's going to move forward, but yeah, it's kind of a major blow because he was the lead engineer.
That's horrible. That's just bad.
Project Titan is being reset and delayed until 2016.
What?
Blizzard released a statement claiming that they didn't like the direction the game was going, and that 60 to 70 people from the Titan team have been moved to other teams. This means Titan will continue being worked on by a much smaller team. Blizzard actually told Kotaku, quote, "We've always had a highly iterative development process, and the unannounced MMO is no exception. We've come to a point where we need to make large design and technology changes to the game," and that's key, design and technology. So they're updating it. It's worth noting that this happened previously to games like StarCraft and even Warcraft 3. This happened to both of those.
There was rumors that they were supposed to have that thing launched next year, so.
I was expecting to see it at BlizzCon, and I guess that's not going to happen now.
Was all those too, because, they think, well, we don't like the direction it's going, and for me it's just like, I know, why don't you show the general public and let them decide, instead of, them deciding. I mean, they're a lot more open than Squaresoft, you'd say, but even Squaresoft finally got their heads out of their asses and started listening to their community, and that's why I'm hoping that when Final Fantasy XIV comes out, that it'll be a lot better. better. So here's hoping for that too. But just so much secrecy. My God, just show us what it looks like. And, ask, do you like this?
They have so much pressure on them to be their own WoW killer. So I can see why they want to make sure they've got the king of MMOs. World of Tanks developer WarGaming.net is bringing their famed tank-busting multiplayer game to the North American Esports League, or the NASL. They will hold 3 seasons of the tournaments through the remainder of 2013, with a total of $100,000 in prize purses between them. Registers for the tournaments open this week as well. And the NASL has also been uncertain of its situation because of StarCraft 2 was its biggest draw, and a few months ago Blizzard had redesigned their interest toward the big major esports behemoth known as Major League Gaming, or the MLG. And the NASL has yet to comment what will happen to its StarCraft 2 tournaments or what they will have up their sleeves. Meanwhile, Time Warner has joined forces with the MLG to bring DC superhero fighting game Injustice: Gods Among Us to the MLG tournament scene, possibly with a much-needed kick in the pants to the latest of the mainstream fighting games to keep its relevance longer, as Capcom fighters are usually the only games that tend to keep a larger following in the fighting game community tournaments at large. Zynga! So it's been said that the U.S. gambling market is worth $380 billion, with only a fraction of that, about $3 billion in fact, is actually legal. So while more and more gambling websites are on their way as more and more of it gets legalized in places like Nevada and New Jersey, and the government looks for means, of course, to tax all that money. Zynga had thrown all their chips on, see what I did there, on a poker side in the UK to make it go, but so far it's been kind of upstaged by most of these Las Vegas-based companies. But OptionMonster.com co-founder John Nigerian has stepped up to say, quote, anybody that can get people to buy virtual farm animals can probably get a piece of that $380 billion. I like Zynga's chances.
That's probably true.
Hummel Indie Bundle 8 broke free this week with Der Esther, Little Inferno, Thomas Was Alone, Capsized, and the beloved Awesome Knots, Proteus, and the breakout hit Hotline Miami. Also available if you pay more than the average, which I didn't. I'm a bad boy. Plus you get the soundtracks as you normally would. This has been a really good Humble Bundle. I've been watching it too. It broke 1 million in the first 24 hours, and there's still a week left. And as you guys know, they almost always add more games when it comes about the end. And if you pay more, you get more. So this is a really good one. And dude, just for Little Inferno, I mean, who loves burning shit? I love it. Who cannot love it? I mean, you could burn all kinds of stuff in that game, and eventually you can burn. Spoiler alert, I won't say anything. Okay. But
so it's no secret that I'm a tactical RPG fan. Maybe it's because some of our pretty brethren got in the limelight in the Disgaea game series. But when the news of the name Final Fantasy Tactics S hit my ears, I started to smile. And then, like lately, I discovered that it was an iOS-Android title, that it exists in the world of Invalus, but has more in common with a very simplified ogre battle system, aka they took all the RTS elements out. Oh well, at least it looks far better than that Final Fantasy All the Bravest that was released earlier this year. And another RPG big boy, Level 5, announced 3 new RPGs themselves! But again, it's for the mobile only. Concepts include Wonder Flick, where you search for treasure to ever increase your power. Majin Station, which is a weird sim RPG where you battle demons for the Japanese rail stations. Okay. And the holy cow, I'm going to butcher this name, but Chikyu Kametsu Teki BQ Kanojo, a traditional RPG game set in the post-apocalyptic world where men are all but extinct, and you're part of an all-female mercenary group that battles monsters and fights with a mechanic built around slot machines. It's like everybody's Setzer from Final Fantasy VI. I don't know.
And then their outfits are probably, just bikinis.
You never know. All of them will be released in Japan sometime this year for both iOS and Android.
Bikinis.
No word on the North American or European translations. Being Level 5, you never know.
Tetris was a humongous game back in the early 90s, and it's largely responsible for the success of the original Game Boy and its launch. Very true, I played the holy hell out of that game. And now, Alexei Pajitnov, the creator of the legendary puzzle game, is back with a new free downloadable iOS called Marbly, a match 3-player board puzzle game. I have no clue what this even is. I has to go look.
And here's an unusual partnering. Sega and BBC Earth have recently partnered up for Orbi, the museum-style facility that will be a futuristic interactive zoo and world study that is hoping to be the next generation of offering exciting learning opportunities for people. So not too much is still really known about this other than the facilities open this August in Yokohama, Japan. But there was a bit of a stir when Sega originally trademarked the name a while back, as it was a speculation that the Orbi was actually Sega throwing an attempt to get get back into the console market once again. And the first Captivate conference will be taking place come early October in Austin, Texas, a conference and expo centered around bringing game makers, filmmakers, and music makers together to discuss the industry and meet new contacts and the like. The ever-busy Warren Spector, dun dun dun, has been invited to start up the event with a keynote speech on the subject of leadership in the arts.
After typifying big Kickstarter success last year for Broken Age, they're returning to Kickstarter again for a brand new and much more ambitious project called Massive Chalice. Asking for $725,000, it'll be a turn-based tactical RPG heavily influenced by games like XCOM, Fire Emblem, and Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh, I enjoy it already. As well as a bit of hit HBO series Games of Thrones tossed in. I've never watched it, so yeah, that sucks. It will move through several generations as you will need to strategize when to use your mighty warriors or to retire them to sire the next generation to fight the demon hordes and much more. And as of Thursday,
let me check that real quick. Okay, they're up to 622,000.
Holy cow. How many hours do they got left?
26 days.
They're gonna make it. They expect the Massive Chalice soon, because it's gonna happen.
Devolver Digital has announced earlier this month that a remake of Shadow Warrior was coming, and meanwhile was running a promotion on Facebook for people to get free copies of the original 1997 first-person shooter based on the Duke Nukem 3D engine for free until an exploit on Facebook caused some problems. So now the game will be free for everyone on Steam. The game had a lot of bad press from the Asian community, however, for its horrible stereotyping back in the day for a game that was meant to be molting. The game was molting. In the game that was meant to be a jab at bad kung fu movies and the like, much in the same tone as Duke Nukem's general style of humor. The new reboot promises to be much more politically correct and remove pretty much anything social groups might find offensive. But yeah, free game for anybody that wants it.
Blizzard and partner Insight Editions have announced the lore book Diablo 3 Book of Tyrael. This will be a hardcover that will chronicle the character and adventures of the Archangel Tyrael in the Diablo universe, plus extras like writings from Leah and Deckard Cain, a removable family tree, and original art. It will be released in October for around $40, and I'm expecting this will be similar to the previous lore book, which was just called the Book of Cain. And it's a pretty neat book and artistically designed. So, just real quick on World of Warcraft, Blizzard is rolling out the Armored Bloodwing this week, which is a monstrous bat creature for $25. So, standard pricing for mounts on initial release, but they typically go on sale around holidays and during events like BlizzCon. So, if you don't want to buy it yet, just wait. It's not a game-changing thing, so just give it a few months and see if it goes on sale at BlizzCon.
Yeah, $25 for something that just gets you somewhere faster. I don't know, man. You got to really be into a game for that.
I am so excited.
Not even faster. It's the same speed. It just looks different.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
We have one last Kickstarter news as we follow up on the precursor games that are attempting to resurrect a Nintendo horror classic in the form of Shadow of Eternals. Despite a lot of hype and positive publicity, they've not done so well on their Kickstarter, and a large part to their big 1.3 million goal. With just a little under half of their time expired, they've only managed not even 10% of what they need, and while they aren't doomed yet with the time to spare, it is looking pretty good. They've responded by saying that if they don't make it, any of the PayPal and other donations from the website will be refunded, as they believe it's highly unlikely to get a publisher.
EA has teased that Plants vs. Zombies will have some sort of a crossover thing happening with both Mass Effect and Dead Space. I'm not kidding. Called Grass Effect and Dead Face, respectively.
What?
Yep. EA seems to be mum. See what I did there? Like the flower. I'm a humor punish machine too.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm a punish machine. Anyway, they seem to be mum about anything else until E3, but it may have something to do with the upcoming release of Plants vs. Zombies 2, which by and by, for the people that don't know, Plants vs. Zombies creator PopCamps have been owned by Electronic Arts for some time now. Some news out of our news source of OperationRainfall.com. Namco Bandai has announced that its 10th anniversary Tales of Symphonia Unison pack, an HD collection of the original Tales of Symphonia plus Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World, will indeed get a North American and European release in 2014, while the Japanese version will be arriving on schedule in early October. Plus the news that Atlas sold 188,000 copies of its brand new Shin Megami Tensei 4 RPG in its first week, beating the record that they held back in 2003 for the company when they released Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, which is the one with the special cameo guest of Dante from Devil May Cry, if anybody remembers that, by 3,000 units. So just barely made it, but it made it. Shin Megami Tensei 4's great sales will likely mean more copies will have to be produced, as that was reportedly 80% of the game's run. So, good for you guys.
Awesome.
And lastly, you can now play one of the most award-winning and universally highest-rated RPGs of all time, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, on your iPad, with a special revision version of the classic that uses the touchpad. It will run for about $10. And don't forget, free-to-play action RPG Marvel Heroes and Capcom's next new big franchise, Remember Me, launches on June 4th. So that is game news for June 1st, 2013.
Amazing!
Amazing. It was a crazy week full of crazy things, and I'm surprised there wasn't more about the Xbox One, really. But it was just full of other news, so this is good. And when is E3? 2 weeks? So yeah, that's going to be a crazy show, because it's going to be actually probably still happening during that, because I think closing is Saturday. I don't think they can run on Sunday. I don't know. We'll find out when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Are we there yet?
No. Now sit in the backseat and shut up.
What was that?
I don't even know what that was. We lost track.
There's no comedic way to end this.
I have to go.
Try not to die from tornadoes.
Is that good enough?
Good enough.
Okay.